This could cause some controversy, but let me be totally honest with you. If you see my videos before, you will know that I always give my brutally honest views on games, and never shy away from the facts, regardless of what hate comments this might cause. What you might not know, I've been a massive Spider-Man fan since I was about 5 years old, and yes, I have the 19 inches, standing proud and tall, caked in damn dust. Regardless of this, I've been able to set my rod on for Spider-Man aside and judge these games fairly with no bias. But hear me out, despite absolutely loving this game on release, I have to be honest, it's kind of been disappointing since then, and I'm going to discuss why in this video. Firstly, let's review all the new suits and new features in this new update, and whether it's worth playing or not, before we dive into the more touchy subject. New suits. So off the bat, there is a good amount of new suits added to this game, 8 to be precise, which was actually quite a nice surprise. Most games out there would charge you for new skins and attempt to milk you pissless, or even put absolutely ridiculous skins in the game like Nicki Minaj or Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy to try and milk every last dribble of piss from your wallet. But Insomniac does it the right way and adds them for free, which I really appreciate. But are these new suits any good? As always, it does come down to personal preference for the most part. If you were to ask me, are you going to wear any of these suits on a regular basis? My honest answer would be no. Yes, I do like the look of some of these suits, but for me, I'm kinda tarty, and honestly only wear a handful of suits in this game, as I find a lot of them just don't suit it that well. What an awful pun. I'll be honest, I don't really feel like wearing my nan's bed sheets on my head, but that's just personal preference. Some people might love these suits, and some might hate it more than having a wet shit in a public toilet that requires a whole sheet of toilet roll that disintegrates on your ass. It's also important to point out, a lot of these suits were in previous games, but were cut from release. So it's a bit of a bummer that we've had to wait this long to wear the Into the Spider-Verse suit or the animated Miles suit. But it's not the end of the world. Some people might just see this as rehashing old suits, but I don't. I mean, the game launched with so many different suits. Yes, some of them weren't perfect and needed touching up, but it's not a big deal. You're never going to please everyone. Traversal update. Finally, we can switch out our traversal abilities to either the symbiote or spider arms. Such a small detail, but it used to bug the hell out of me, using particular suits for them to have the spider arms instead of the symbiote. Maybe only the absolute bums like me actually cared about this, but it's the fine details that make a game great. This is definitely a feature that should have been added way earlier, as most people have now finished the game more than once and aren't planning to do it again soon. But at least it's finally here. And I swear, if I get another alert from Lanky Oasis again, there's going to be an alert for a victim of a shattered pelvis. It's sad to see that we still cannot toggle Peter's symbiote dialogue after finishing the game. There's nothing better than pretty much twatting enemies to death in the black suit whilst Peter delivers some dark emo dialogue, scary enough to put your nan into another coma.
Be thankful any of you can still walk. A break-in. I'll break them. You'll regret this! Tell your friends, New York is closed.
Okay, so the next thing, Venom. So why has this game sort of been a disappointment during the months that have rolled on since release? Well, sadly, there is still no mention of Venom and if and when he will be playable. Teasing us with that one mission in the story is a killer. So many of us are dying to use him again, and it really sucks that we don't have any sort of time frame of when this will be possible. We would have hoped by now, 8 months later, that we'd have some sort of idea, but instead we've been left in the dark and have played the mission Don't Be Scared about 100 times because it's the only way to play as this dumpy mong. Speaking of Venom, this goes nicely into the next thing we have to discuss. DLC. What in the hell is going on with DLC? Now firstly, let's get this out the way. The one and only factor I can think of that is causing the delay and no mention of DLCs is the utter dog's cock who hacked Insomniac and caused the leaks.
The hackers who breached Spider-Man developer Insomniac and threatened to release confidential data unless they were paid around $2 million within 7 days have made good on their threat after Sony reportedly refused to meet their demands.
Aside from that, there is no reason as to why we've heard absolutely nothing regarding DLC. As I've said in the past, it would be great if we could just get some sort of update. For example, if they tweeted out, DLC is in the works, but there are no dates as of yet due to the data breaches by some absolute knob jockey. But instead, we've been left in the dark. This becomes a big issue for Spider-Man 2 as the game essentially dies in the process, as there has been little reason for players to return to the game aside from little changes here and there, which, let's be honest, were also added very late. To put it in perspective, it took 5 months for our first update, which added the new game plus, time of day, etc. Oh, Christ, one sec. I've got bogeys the size of bullets going out my nose. So this definitely wasn't ideal and probably was the sign of things to come. I really hope we get a statement soon regarding DLC, as it feels like the game could be out for over a year until we get any form of DLC, when in the past, we had a clear plan of when the DLC was coming and the wait for it wasn't anywhere near as long. So here is the all-important question. Is the new Spider-Man 2 update worth playing? Aside from the new selection of suits, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but for the casual player, revisiting this game again just isn't worth it right now, as the update is very little, and we still don't have any idea of when and if there will be any DLC on the horizon. And let's be real, even if you do decide to load the game up again, after about an hour, you'll be bored of the new suits and you'll end up playing something else, as there isn't really much to do when you reach 100% completion. 8 months after release, we desperately need some DLC to revive this game, as it feels like it's been forgotten about the last few months, and it is a big shame, as I really do love this installment, and I hope the hacker who caused the data breaches gets his kneecaps royally twatted off. I would be very interested to know how the DLC would have rolled out if this didn't happen. But then again, we still don't know if this was the cause, due to the lack of communication regarding DLC. What I just personally think, the base game is bloody great, and it sucks that people have forgotten about it, and I just want a reason to pick up this game again. Because I ain't completing the game for a third time, I'll tell you that. There is only a certain amount of times I can play as that absolute bince MJ, twatting blokes with a stun gun, or solving any of these AIDS-induced puzzles that make me want to run over the nearest bent over bitch hag down the street. But do let me know in the comment section down below your honest thoughts, and when was the last time you played Spider-Man 2? And if you would like to see my previous Spider-Man 2 video where we discuss all the changes we should have got in this game, which would have been incredible, make sure to click the card on screen. You don't want to miss this video. Thank you guys for watching as always, and have a great rest of your day.